And we are live.
Mhm.
Welcome everyone. Just to let you know too, Clara, sometimes people join on the live and there'll be comments. Otherwise, they just watch back later.
Yeah,
So both
amazing.
is fine. So yes, I have the lovely Clara with us today. So Carly, I believe you met Carly. Where did you meet her? Did you know her already? You met Carly somewhere.
No,
And she
I think,
was like, "Oh, you have to have them on for a live. That'll be great." So here we are.
yeah, I don't know if I really met her. I do know that she reached out for like application for support form and stuff for her child.
Right.
And then we got
Okay.
talking, and then had an intake with her. And then she was like, "Oh, we got to have you on. Are you open to have like a Facebook Live about
Yes.
Little Dreamers?" And it's like, "Yeah, totally. Send it through, and I have a look at it." So here we
Okay.
are.
Awesome. I knew there was some connection there.
Yeah.
Um, so yes, Clara is from Little Dreamers. And I was just looking at the website before I was letting her know I got sucked into their documentary and I was like, oh my God, it's time to start. So I'm going to go back and watch that. So I feel like everyone should watch it because it resonated so much and I was hooked. I was like, oh, this is so awesome. But
Mm.
something else I saw on the website was it said, who cares for the carers? And
Mm.
I feel like that resonates so much with Kindship as well, because that's how we first started out. Our CEO, Summer, was like, who's looking after these carers? Like more towards a parent caring sort of
Mm.
angle. But I love that you guys are focusing on the young carers because obviously a lot of us have siblings that take on that role.
For
Yeah,
sure.
and it's something to really be mindful of. So yes, could you start just sharing a little bit about Little Dreamers and
Yeah,
like
of
your
course.
background? What
Well,
led
it's
you here?
beautiful to hear that, yeah, how Kindship then started, because Little Dreamer started with Maddie, our CEO, and she's a young carer herself. And she had the question, like you said on the website, like, so who's caring for the young carers? Herself being a young carer, she was like pretty young already, thinking like, hey, there's so
Yeah,
much support for her brother, and everything else, like what support do I have, basically. And that's still what we go off, like that's still what we like is our mission is to basically support all young carers. They're all supported by like 2030, in some sort of way, either by Little Dreamers or by the community, but the family. So yeah, Little Dreamers is Australia's leading young carers organization. So we have programs throughout like Australia, mostly in Victoria, Queensland, and in New South Wales.
yeah,
And I think all the followers on Kindship and stuff, but maybe just touching base with like who is actually a young carer, or what we say is a young carer. Kind of any kind of children, like young adult from 25 and under, who is caring for a family member who has like a disability, a chronic or mental illness, an addiction, or frail age. And yeah, like most of us, or most of you, like know, having a disability or mental illness or anything yourself, or as your like child, and then having the siblings being a young carer in their role, life just looks for them a bit different.
yeah,
Like I'm also doing intakes with families, so lots of the times what I hear as well, it's just like you can't just maybe like pack up and go to the beach easily and just like be at a birthday party from a friend, because you like, have all these other things, or maybe you are there but something happens and you kind of feel like we need to pack up and leave because it's too
yeah.
much. So yeah, that's where kind of Little Dreamers comes in. Yeah, I saw like how I got to Little Dreamers. I'm a young carer myself as well. I'm from the Netherlands. I moved to Australia basically 5 years ago, and I didn't know at the time that I was a young carer. That's also some things, raising the awareness and like identifying young carers, because I feel a lot of the times you're in the situation and you feel like this is home, this is how we do things, which is true. But then maybe when you are growing up, you see other families and your friends saying, hey, hold on a second, it is slightly different in our home, like and
Yeah.
in our where we live. And I was a young care, well, growing up. Then I came to Australia and I actually did a lot of support work. So I worked a lot with
Okay.
kids who had a disability. And then I wanted to do more. So I ended up working for Little Dreamers.
Oh wow, I love that. I love that you said like because I have how old is she? Turning 12. And
Mm,
she's naturally, I think, such a caring, kind person anyway.
mm,
But Willow has shaped her to be even more so. And she does have it, and she does mention it to me a lot. Like, my friends don't get it. Like, they don't, they'll say that this was hard with their sibling, and they don't get the difference of what my sibling relationships is like. But I love that you said, like, to recognize, because when I was looking into it, I was like, oh, does it mean young carers, like, when they're an adult in that 18 to 25? Like, is that what you guys are talking about? But no, you're sort of saying, like, recognizing it from when they're little as well. Like, if they're, because she often takes on a little young carer role. Like, she helps me with meltdowns, helps her with school. And so I love
Absolutely.
that, to recognize, for her to recognize herself, oh, I am a young carer. Like,
Yeah, raising that awareness, and also like it's because like you're saying with like being so empathetic and like we know from like being a young carer and being that role, we've seen that like you kind of like they often learn to be compassionate and kind and have these beautiful skills they learn from their role in being a young carer, and then often have that beautiful relationship with the person they're caring for. But what we also see, they also have this significant, like it's a significant impact also on their like education, on their
yeah,
employment later on, the mental and physical health, financial well-being, socializations, all these factors. Like we do see, it's harder on them.
yeah,
And also, I think it's really good, like you said, like if we raise awareness and identify the young carers from an early age on and have them have support, if it's with Little Dreamers or from the community or their family, it just looks better for them. We can like supporting along the way and like make them from a young age be aware, like, all right, who are you? And like maybe balancing their needs with the needs of like the caring role. So yeah, it's very important, I think, to raise that awareness in schools and communities and families to like, right, there is
yeah,
for
yeah.
siblings or young carer.
Yeah, and I guess, interpreting it that way has them growing up to say, "Yes, I am a young carer." Like, yes, it is amazing in some aspects, but it is hard, and when it is, I deserve support. Like, it's not just a way of life. I just have to deal with it, sort of thing. Like,
Mhm.
recognizing that, oh, you deserve assistance because of the role you're taking on. Yeah, I just haven't thought about it
No,
like that.
it
That's
is popped in my mind, like you said, like, oh, they don't get it. Like you said,
yeah,
that's just they don't get it. That's what we're trying to do as well. Like we have a lot of programs where we can dive into deeper, like, but it's like peer support, and then they are just with like their same age, different, making new friends with people, and they just get it because they
yeah,
do get it. And then you
absolutely.
hear their conversations between them being like, oh, my brother is in a wheelchair, for example. And then she's like, oh, my sister too. And like, oh, like, and they just get the situation. And that's, I think, so important as well for them to have that, like, identifying with other, like, having the friends and just understand what it is to do these things at home, have those extra role and caring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And because that's why, like I said, Kindship started because we recognize, like, parent carers, you need support, you need people you can talk to, and
For
otherwise,
sure.
like, your mental health and well-being will be lower because you're isolated. But
Mm.
yeah, I've never thought of it on that flip side, that, like, it's the same thing essentially. Like, they need that as well, like people that they can relate to. Yeah, so awesome. So you've got a lot of key programs. So can you share a little about a bit about that and how that, like, tailors to meet the needs of young carers?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, we have lots of different programs, and like they're all co-designed with young carers. So to
Yeah,
know like what do they really want, and we're always trying to get their feedback after the programs to just keep all the programs right where they need to be to like get the needs what like the young carer actually need at the time. So
yeah.
programs, for example, we have some programs during school term. So
Mhm.
programs like tutoring, like I said, we do know that a lot of the times maybe they struggle maybe with education, maybe at home because they can't really get their homework done because it's really busy or difficult at this like at home, caring for your parent or a sibling. So we have a tutoring program. That's a
Wow.
one-on-one program. Maybe starting off saying that all of our programs, everything we offer for young carers is fully free. So all the programs are free. They don't need any kind of like some people like think maybe NDAs or any kind of other. Everything is free. They can sign up when we come to that later, but everything that we offer is free. And the tutoring program is a one-on-one program. And then they say the child may be struggling a little bit with math, or they're struggling with like English, the language, grammar, and everything. And then we say, all right, what days or times be good and suitable for you to like come online, jump online, because it's an online program to make sure it's, again, easier to access because life's busy and you maybe can't drive them. So it's online. They get a link, say it's a Tuesday, 5 to 6. They jump online and the tutor is there. And then for the next weeks, the teachers is there for them to help them keep them engaged in their schoolwork and having that one-on-one time, which is a really popular program.
Yes. Yeah. Already I'm like, because my daughter struggles like with learning. And I'm like, how do you make it all work? And then the expense as well. Often it's like, how do we also pay for that as well? And yeah, that's so cool.
So that's like, for sure. Like everyone who's like listening to it and thinks like this is amazing. They're all like, they can all access the program. And then besides tutoring, like we touched base on like education is a big thing, but also socialization. So we have also programs called Peer Support and Empower Hour, which is also kind of like a peer support program. And they are again online. It's through a Zoom link, so they can jump online same day, same time for that like 8 to 10 week block during school term. They're making friends online with their peers. It's all like age appropriate. So we have, for example, a group from 6 to 9-year-olds, and it's 10 to 13-year-olds, and like 14 to 16 and older. So then it's like everything we do online makes sense for them. They don't feel too young, don't feel too old. It's all like right for them. And what we do is like we jump online, we touch base on, we're trying to like touch base on like who are we. It's like an identifying maybe we touch base on like the emotions, like if you feel a certain way because of your caring role, how can we, like I mentioned before, balance our needs as well, make sure that our well-being buckets is full. So we like do like games and things around that. And then we play online games, just fun activities to have that connection with other young carers, and then they'll see each other every week online to build that bond with their peers.
Oh, that is amazing. I love it. So good.
Yeah, so that's a popular one, which is amazing to see, especially like if you do them like during the weeks, and in the beginning they might be, of course, like not maybe as comfortable. Some totally are straight from the beginning. Other ones are like, all right, let's have a look. But they're like, all the games are designed to have them like feel more comfortable, creating that safe space online for them. So that's a really popular program too. Then we also offer in some states coaching and counseling, which is also one-on-one. Because what we also know is that from your like being young carer, it's like 2 in 3 actually have like their own mental structure mentally as well, and they often don't get access or don't ask for like support. So knowing that, we offer coaching, counseling to see if we can help in that way.
Wow.
Mentally as well. We have another program for actually some all like big dreamers, it's called, and that's for young carers from like 13 to like 17 basically. It's a 5-month program, and it's a bit more intense than like the one-on-one hourly every week. This is like they go online, they have like they do like respite camp as well. They have a graduation in the end. They have all that support throughout, like talking about maybe in the future, okay, what kind of like employment, how does that work? So we'll have like the bigger issues there to touch base with them, and have like the really mentally support system there for 5 months. They have like not just an hour meeting, but maybe all the whole Saturday they come together, and there's all these specific trained coaches and people coming in to help. So that's a beautiful 5-month program, which is like a bigger program for the older ones, and then they have their graduation, which is always a beautiful ending for them family
That's
and friends can come.
incredible.
Yeah, so that's
Not
amazing too.
like, yeah, not only that, the fact that they see their sibling going to all these appointments and getting all this support, like they can feel that sense of like, oh, I want something
For sure,
like
that's
yeah,
absolutely. That's the thing that I saw being like a support worker before as well. When I came in, they have like maybe there's like an OT coming in or a speech
yeah,
therapist, or like they have like someone
yeah,
like a support worker coming in to like play with them
yeah,
and take care. And especially in being younger as well, they just even though they may be getting once they're older, like, oh, we're actually lucky, we don't need all that. But when they're
yeah.
younger, they feel, hey, why is
It's like,
someone coming in and playing with them, not knowing it's kind of like really
yeah,
specific play therapy? Why do I? Why is
absolutely.
no one coming for me? Why am I not getting some
Yeah,
extra things here? So
absolutely. Just and especially if you've got like great therapy team that are really playful and come up with all these amazing ideas, and there's so like it can be seen as like, oh, they're having so much fun. I know at the moment Willow has a ball at her appointments, and we've
mm,
just implemented a support worker, which is like her favorite day of the week, and she gets to go to her house. And today she's I've got to take Ava to a transition thing, so she's going there, and she's so excited. She gets to have dinner and play with her daughter. I'm like, that's just another thing that
for
she
sure,
gets.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is so good.
Well, having
Um,
those extra things there is just, yeah, we see it's really beneficial for them.
yeah,
And they all look forward once they made some friends, look forward. Because another one that lots of the programs I just mentioned is like online, and Big Dream is then face to face, like it's an in person program. And then what
right.
we also offer is respite camps and school holiday programs. And our school holiday programs and respite camps are very, very popular. They always are like booked out. And that what we do is like give them that like break during the school holidays and so much to look forward than
Yeah.
just for them. So they can come. We like we do so many things. We can like last time in Victoria, I know a lot of young carers went to see like a musical, which was amazing. Um,
Wow.
I went with 20 young carers. We went out with the bus. We went to Warner Bros. Movie World for the day,
Oh,
surfing, treetops, like all these amazing things. And yeah, that's just like a face to face.
incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's so amazing.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think like I know what you mean now when I'm like the questions, we sort of touch base
Yeah.
on a lot of them. Like you've covered that a lot of the programs do help with that social and that emotional, and then like tackling those challenges that young carers face. Like I feel like we've touched on that. Is there something that is like a common theme that you feel like young carers do face? Like, because there might be parents listening that think like, oh, I didn't even think of it from that way. Like I'm like, oh wow.
Mm.
Yeah, is there a common thing to look out for or be aware of, or yeah.
You mean for like young carers, like identifying and being aware of what they?
Yeah, like what are some like major challenges and difficulties that you guys see that they face, and like how
Yeah.
we can help
So
overcome
what maybe like knowing that they are young carer and they see the struggles you are as a parent, I can only imagine so busy trying to like care for everyone and giving everyone attention. So sometimes they do lose like, or maybe what is it now exactly what they need and how can I get it? Because you're already so busy with all the, like we said, and the OT and everything. How can we do more? And that's where again we have offer stuff like and things online. Coming back, like what we do see, like there's so many young carers that we like they don't know they're young carers. So coming back to maybe some statistics, we do know that 2 or 3 kids in like a classroom are actually a young carer.
Yeah,
We're talking about disability now here for like their sibling, but a lot like maybe their parents is have a mentally like are struggling for some, or
yeah,
they're having their grandparents living with them and they have frail age, or someone actually a parent or other family member has cancer. Just heard they got cancer and they're struggling with that. So there's so many more to it than having like a disability. We do see like in our programs or like like we see that basically 50% of a young carer is caring for a disabled like a sibling.
yeah.
But yeah, so and then we also with like the education, we said like we know that if you're a primary young carer, so you're like really looking after your mom and there's no one else there, or your mom is having an addiction or a mental illness and your sibling also needs help, so you're like a primary carer at home being young, we do know that for like 4% of the primary young carers between the age of 15 and 25 are actually not enrolled in like any kind of education, training, or school anymore. We also know that carers, like having that carer role, they just often are more prone to having like getting all their uh, getting enough money in, like having like the poverty there. So that's where we kind of try with our Big Dreamers program as well to help them, and our coaching and stuff help them see like that's what they taught, like how can we help you maybe writing a letter to find a job, your resume, how do you do your resume, how do we call up, where do we start, what is really what you want to do in life, and how can we help you in that sort of sense. Because yeah, there's just so many things, unfortunately, being in a young care role that are just like impacting them besides all the good things that they learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think like, because even with us, we've got like, I know over the past, like resources for the child with a disability, like to do things like get a job, have goals to where to live, blah, blah, blah. But, and not intentionally, like I guess you sort of do leave that sibling because you're like, oh, that's something that they don't need assistance with that. But they very much do. And especially if they are that full-time carer, like you said, they can't go to school and it's hard to get a job. Yeah, it's just really, really incredible. So you've mentioned your programs are free.
Yeah.
Is that all of them?
All of them. Everything I just mentioned: coaching, counseling, Big Dreamers, peer support, tutoring, school holiday programs, everything is free. Yeah.
And so obviously you rely on grants and funding and like volunteer work. Like, how could people volunteer and help out with Little Dreamers?
Amazing questions. You always are like looking for volunteers. If they would like, if someone's like listening now and like to volunteer and be part of Little Dreamers, that would be absolutely amazing. You can go to our website and then there's like get involved on the top, and then you can just like click on volunteer, being a volunteer. And we need volunteers for both like our school holiday programs, and maybe you're really good in math or another kind of subject and would like to offer being a volunteer for tutoring, our tutoring program. So there's all, or be a team leader for some of the respite camps. So there's all these options. They can go online, and that would be amazing. And then you can click on the link. There's a little form to sign up, and one of our team will definitely be in contact with you. Yeah, if you want to be, so that's a volunteer part. We are like definitely on fundings and grants, and we have like sometimes with beautiful companies who support us with donations, which is amazing to keep going and offer these beautiful free programs for the young carers in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, love it. So is there anything new on the horizon coming up for you guys? Any new initiatives? I suppose you've got so much happening anyway.
We always have so much happening because we try to listen to young carers and try to come up with new things and like meet their needs. We have actually something, well, besides all our programs and school holiday programs happening in January, we were actually opening our new well-being hub in Victoria. Young Care Wellbeing Hub, and we are offering there like psychology and art therapy and play therapy, coaching, counseling. So we'll be a specific, besides all the programs we're already doing online, which are often online. They do sometimes have like some in-person programs, but this will be mostly in person. We're starting off in Victoria, and hopefully we'll be opening in the beginning of next year. So that was really excited. We're all looking forward to.
So great. Oh, my daughter will love this. I feel as like I will do little things for her and little treats and like, and I feel I try to be very self-aware about my youngest daughter is just but I don't think she realizes Willow has a disability. Like, she just doesn't care less. But she's still very young. But my oldest, like, this was just so much up her alley. Even like when I was watching the documentary of the CEO, I'm like, that's so her thinking like how she help. Like, she's always talking about how she wants to be a therapist to help kids, and she would love all of this stuff. So it really is incredible. Yeah, I'm so excited to share what you guys are doing. It's
amazing. Yeah, no, like it's just even when they're really young, like our programs are from 6 years old, basically. So
yeah,
even like the Empower Hour, and they might not really realize how their caring role, what it is, and that they are actually, because they have all these like that they, for them it's just normal to have these extra responsibilities, so to say,
yes,
helping
that's
them
true.
get dressed, helping them maybe with medication, even at school, or sometimes when they're waiting to be picked up, making sure they're safe. So yeah, there's all these extra responsibilities, doing the laundry, doing maybe helping with cooking. Like it's just the
Yeah,
tiny extra things that yeah, which is
yeah,
just a bit more for them, why we again have these beautiful programs there.
yeah.
Good to know, like to mention, and maybe you were going there as well, is like if you want to, if you're listening and you're thinking, oh, I have a child, or I know from like a family member that like is a young carer and they can actually really benefit from our programs, they can jump online on our website, littledreamers.org.au, and then they can go and click on apply for application for support. And then they can click on either Queensland, New South Wales, the Sydney area with the Blue Mountains where we are, or the Hunter, Port Stephens in the North New South Wales area. And then you can click on and just fill out an application for support form.
Yeah.
And then one of the team members will be in contact with them, one of the intakes, and just to touch base on what is like the caring role, just to ask a few more questions to really make sure what kind of support is most needed, and then we can help them to come like to just tell them about our programs and see which one we think together with the parent or guardian, like what kind of programs will be most beneficial for them,
Yeah.
and then give them the support they need.
Oh, incredible. And just when you were saying about like the young, like I was like, my youngest is like, well, whatever. But I suppose she doesn't know she's a young carer, and she doesn't have the same personality, and they don't anyway, and that's fine. But yeah, I suppose recognizing it from this young age, even though she does present differently, is very important too, which I've never thought about it that way. I've learned so much. This is, yeah.
Amazing. Like again, the peer support and stuff that we do, like 6 to 9 year olds, it's just so beautiful to see what they already know. We're talking about emotions, and then we're just drawing things down, or we're like talking about like maybe filling up your well-being bucket. How can you feel, what we call it, maybe a happy bucket? How can we make sure you're happy during the week? Or like if you feel a bit low, how can we switch to another emotion? And it's just amazing to see, even though they're really young, what they come up with, because then they're like listening to music, or they're saying like, I want to play with friends. It's like perfect. Put it like on a little note, maybe next to your bed, have these little things in a little bucket or a glass, pick them out. And it's just, like they're so already so engaged, even though they're so young, which is also incredible.
And it's just setting themselves up to be self-aware and learning great skills anyway, not leaving it until we don't even recognize and they have a bit of this sense of burnout from their sibling. So good. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of that.
So me, love talking about Little Dreamers and what we do, and hopefully, if someone's listening and like feels like they need support, or know someone that needs support, they can go to littledreamers.org.au, and then they can definitely apply for support, and someone will be in touch.
Oh, I love it. Love it so much. We'll all be in touch for sure. And be promoting this. It's amazing. Well, thank you. Have a great day.
You have a lovely day.
Okay, bye, Clara.